I'm back today with a new tutorial. If you haven't watched my 1-point perspective video, you should stop right now, go and watch that first, because I'll be building on some skills we talked about in that video, and then come on back. When you are drawing something in 1-point perspective, we're looking at the side of an object. But when you're doing something in 2-point perspective, we'll be looking at the corner of a shape, an edge, which is simplified into a line. So today, to get started, we're going to need a ruler, a pencil, some paper, and if you want, I like to do my orthogonals in another color, so I'm using a colored pencil as well. Step 1, we're going to start with our horizon line. You can make your horizon line anywhere you'd like on the paper. I'm going to keep mine in the middle today to keep it simple. So here we go. With 2-point perspective, we are using 2 vanishing points instead of 1. So I'm going to put one on one side of my horizon line and another one on the other side of my horizon line. Now, I have to decide where I want my first shape to be. So I'll be taking my ruler and I'm going to make a building right here. Because it's 2-point perspective again, we're going to be looking at the edge of a corner instead of the side of the building. So now I'm going to take my colored pencil and I'm going to draw orthogonals from the top and bottom of this corner edge to each vanishing point. And that will look like a little diamond or a kite shape, however you'd like to call it. So I'm going to do all 4 lines from here. Now, I have this shape that goes on to infinity in both directions, so I just have to decide how far back I want my building to go on this wall. I'll line it up because I want this line to be parallel with the line of this side of my building. So this line is parallel with this line. Maybe I'll make this side of the building a little longer. So I'm going to match my ruler up with this line again and slide it back at that same angle. Cool. I'm going to make a line right here. Now, if I wanted to, I could erase all this nonsense right here and here, but I'm going to leave them for now. Let's say I'd like to put a door on this side of my building. I'm going to do another parallel line by taking my ruler, sliding it down, deciding how tall my door will be here. And now we're going to be using that same rule, by taking the top of this line and drawing an orthogonal to this vanishing point since it's on this side of the building. I don't have to draw one from here because there is already an orthogonal on the base of the building. To complete this door, all I have to do is make another parallel line, however wide I'd like this door to be. Now I have my door. I could go back over my orthogonal as well. Let's say I want to do a line of windows on this side of the building. What I'll do is simply take my ruler and make a parallel line. I'm going to do 2 rows of windows. I'm going to be fancy. So from each of these windows, I'm going to make some orthogonals to this vanishing point since it's on this side of the corner of my building. This takes a little bit of patience, but it's really worth it when your drawing looks so cool and you can start to add a lot more detail after you finish your important lines. So now I can turn these windows into as many as I'd like as long as I'm using parallel lines to the corner of the building. So I would like to give this a lot of windows. It will look more realistic if your windows get smaller, narrower as they get further away. So you could slightly skew the perspective of your windows by making them just slightly more narrow as they get away from the center of your building. I'm not going to do too much of a distortion there. So now I have one building in 2-point perspective. Let's say I want to put it in a area where there's a sidewalk. I'm going to line up my ruler and just make a little vertical line here. This is going to be how thick my sidewalk is. And I'm going to take my ruler, and the same way I did it from this line, I'm going to draw orthogonals from the top and bottom of that really teeny line to one vanishing point, and then to the next vanishing point. Now I have my sidewalk. If I want to be super fancy and divide it up, I would make my orthogonals come from the vanishing point on this side. So I'd line up my ruler and draw an orthogonal. Do you see that these lines match up here? I could continue going there. And then for this side of my sidewalk, I would hinge my ruler on this point. You can see how that would add up. I can add all sorts of buildings in the background. All I have to do is add another vertical line for the corner of the building. Since this building is in front, let's just stop my line here. And again, I'm going to draw a line from this to my vanishing point. If a building or a shape is in the way, just stop it. I can decide to end my building wherever I like. Maybe take my ruler, slide it over. Maybe here there's a little tree in the way and I won't see all of the details. By adding some natural elements to your perspective drawings, it will also make them look more interesting. So I'll show you an example on the screen of a finished 2-point perspective drawing that I did with some of my 3rd graders. And you can enhance the look using warm and cool shading, just like the one in my video for warm and cool colored pencil shading. So you can check that video out if you're curious too. I hope you try 2-point perspective. It's really not as complicated as people might think. Bye.